This is Omar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. It's fight day. It's Fury Wilder 3-down, joined by Ben Davison. How much of a different fight is this to the one that obviously you were involved with, Ben, all the way back in LA? I think 2018 it was, wasn't it, Ben? How much of a different fight will it be today?
Yeah, it's massively a different fight. Obviously, when they, the reality is Tyson was picked by Wilder thinking that he was nowhere near ready for the fight, which he was nowhere near going to be 100% for the fight, but he was obviously a lot better than what people expected, and managed to do what he done and showed the improvements going into the second fight, which I think also from the first fight probably left a dent in Wilder's confidence and his approach to the fight as well. And then the second fight obviously would have done that even more so, and would have built on Tyson's confidence. So the roles have reversed really, and Wilder's up against it, of course.
We saw them on the scales yesterday, obviously both career heaviest. What did you firstly make of Wilder's frame?
Oh, he looks fantastic, doesn't he? But is it going to be effective? Like, to be honest, I don't think gaining the weight's going to do him any favours. He's gained the weight for they come up close and get into clinches and that. But realistically, it's not the strongest, it's the smartest, and the clinch is going to come out on top. And it's more so about how he approaches the fight, how he goes about the fight, that's going to make a difference than what the weight is on the scales.
And did you expect Fury to come in heavier than last time?
He's roughly around the same. When you look at it percentage-wise, it's not much of a difference, is it?
You said about how Wilder approaches the fight. If you were in his corner, leading the charge tonight, what would you tell him to do?
I'm not going to say what I would tell him to do, but there's a couple of ways I can see him going about it. I can see him, I've heard all this talk about going to box, whatever that means, but does that mean him moving around the ring a little bit more, being happy to be on the back foot, in which case, if he's moving more, we know that his feet are flawed. But if he moves his feet correctly, small steps, holds his feet, he's brave, punches with Tyson, then of course he's in for a shout. But again, in moments like that, when they're 50-50 moments and Wilder's punching with him, being a bit lighter and a bit quicker would have worked in his favour a little bit more. But it's interesting to see how he's going to go about it. I didn't expect him to come in that heavy, but
do you think there's a possibility that he might come out and go at 100 miles per hour from the first bell?
He could do. It's a brave approach. Maybe he thinks, do you know what, down the stretch with Tyson's size, weight and boxing ability, maybe I won't be able to match him, so I'm going to make it a 4-round fight. But I can't see that really. I can't see him having that mentality. Don't get me wrong, I think he'll look to start fast, probably to try and put Tyson on the back foot, buy himself a bit of respect. Whether he's able to do that and what he does after that is obviously it's an important thing. It's not a low-level fight, is it? It's a high-level fight. So throughout the fight, adjustments have got to be made as well, of course.
That and not a very risky move, though, obviously, if he does come out really fast-paced for, let's say, 2 or 3 rounds and overcommits, overbalances, and Tyson catches him with a big right hand, he could go over. That could be it.
Yeah, of course, but it goes both ways. That's heavyweight boxing. Either man can clip anyone, But this is what I mean. It boils down to certain things he does before he throws. If he does certain things, he'll make it harder for Tyson to time him. If he's moving about too much and Tyson does certain things, it'll make it easy for Tyson to push him back. So I think a lot of it boils down to Wilder's feet, if I'm honest. How well and how well drilled his feet are. But also, again, emotionally for Tyson, does he approach the fight in the correct emotional manner? Because if Wilder goes about it the right way, which I don't think he will, but if he goes about it the right way, and Tyson is emotionally gets carried away and a bit too excitable, forces things, then, you know, that can be a problem. So, like I say, I think we know how Tyson's going to approach the fight, but we don't know how Wilder's going to approach the fight. And realistically, that will have to determine the way Tyson goes about it as well.
I think that is the interesting thing with tonight, is that how Wilder does approach this, because all eyes will be on him after everything he said, etc. And as you said, going off the first fight and the second fight, we are really unsure. It's just potluck guess about how Wilder's going to come in tonight and approach it, especially with Malik Scott now in charge.
Yeah.
Ben, okay.
I think some of the things Malik spoke about, some of the things Malik mentioned, you know, make sense. Some of it, not too sure on, but it's a big fight. We're all looking forward to it, aren't we?
Definitely. Not long to go tonight. BT Sport Box Office, tune in. Ben, I haven't spoke to you. Well, we haven't spoke to you since Anthony Joshua lost his unified titles to Alexander Usyk. Just get your kind of opening take on the fight itself and Usyk's performance.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. Usyk obviously boxed well, but it's hard to say how well he boxed, because I think that Joshua got it very wrong. I don't know what more you can say. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, well, let's talk about the tactics during the fight. I mean, it seems like Joshua and his corner didn't change their game plan from round 1 to 12. Were you surprised with that?
This is the thing. Yeah, people talk about game plans, and it's like I tried to box Usyk. It's a boxing match. It's a boxing match. It's not a fight outside of a pub. All this, he's got to get on him. He's got to jump on him. He gas himself out, probably get stopped, run into some shots. It's easy to sit there and go, oh, Usyk's not a puncher. But when you don't see him coming, and a man that size who's been boxing all his life, trust me, he can punch. So it's just it's absolute nonsense. It's the small details, the intricacies, the specifics. Those are the things in certain moments that the general public, and to be honest with you, most people in boxing haven't got a fucking clue about. That's the God's honest truth. Not a clue. And it says it all. Most people come out with, needs to let the right hand go a bit more, needs to get his foot on the outside, let the right hand go. Like, this is elite level boxing. There's so much more to it. And I just think I understand what Joshua was trying to achieve. I fully understand what he was trying to achieve, but he was missing small but key details in what he was trying to do. He is, of course, I'm sure he's going to take the rematch. I think we all know that, but he, of course, I think he's up against it. For sure he's up against it, but it's a fight that I believe that he can win as well if he goes about it the right way. And by that, I don't mean he has to completely go away from what he was doing, because there are elements, no matter what way he approaches the fight, there are elements that scenarios that happened in that first fight will appear again in that second fight, and he needs to make sure that he gets those moments correct, gets those moments right, and makes the adjustments. So it's not a case of, don't box him next time, just stick it on him. Like, it's just absolute nonsense. It's ridiculous. But is that not what you hear most of the time?
Basically, on every interview. I think I've done one other interview with Al Siesta. I was naming, and he said, like, he's saying the same thing as you. He's saying, if it was that simple, he would have done that.
Yes, right. Like, but not only if it was that simple. don't get me wrong, there's definite adjustments to the overall approach to the fight, but there are scenarios that will appear in every fight, no matter how you go about them. And like I say, small but key details are missing there that will make a huge difference to him going into that rematch. And I'd like to see him win. I would like to see him win. I think Usyk's a great character, great for boxing, fantastic boxer. But you can see, like, I was always a bit critical, I would say. Not critical, I'd say honest about Anthony Joshua before, in the sense of, I think he was very one-dimensional before, and I just felt like it was just a matter of time before he come across someone like what happened in the Andy Ruiz fight. However, he's made huge adjustments. That takes a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of self-reflection, all of these kind of things. And you can only respect that. And he come across, and he fully believed in himself and in his team going into that fight. There was just, like I say, I keep going over it, but there was small key details that was missing that would have made a huge difference in that fight, and will make a huge difference if he can make those adjustments and work those things out going into the rematch.
Okay. What did you make of Tyson's comments saying he'll train him for the rematch? Bit of tongue in cheek?
Yeah, a bit of tongue in cheek. But again, look, it's one of them. It just baffles me how people are just like, he needs to put it on him. Like, but it is what you like. Jokes aside, this is what you're hearing from boxing coaches, from other fighters, and from people that are supposed to be in the sport, supposed to be knowledgeable. Just put it on him. It's an absolute shambles, and that's why I saw an interview of Eddie saying, you know, how many people have offered their help? 99% of them can fuck off, because it's absolute nonsense. Just needs to put it on him. It's elite level boxing. Alexander Usyk is an elite level fighter. Like I say, I do think that it's a fight that Joshua can win, but it's one that will take a lot of work, it's not so much a physical thing, it's an IQ thing. And if he can improve his IQ and work on these small details and get the timing of when to use these skill sets at the right time, bang on, more than in for a shout, I think he becomes the favourite in that fight.
Wow, okay. All right, Ben, well, listen, I'll have a catch up with you soon about your guys. Obviously, we can't wait for Josh Taylor's undisputed defence at the end of the year, and there's a lot to discuss surrounding Teofimo Lopez and recent comments. Obviously, we discussed Devin Haney as well, and your other boys, Lee Wood, Shabazz Massoud, Lee McGregor, will do that next week, and the main man, Barry Smith. But yeah, appreciate your time today, and yeah, we'll find
Big
out.
Lee Wiley.
Oh, he's made it on camera. First time.
The mystery man.
Shout out Lee Wiley. Yeah, Ben, appreciate your time, and we'll see how Wilder approaches the fight tonight, eh? Not long to go. Thank you.
For sure. Cheers, mate.